Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the More Than Conversation podcast, where we do life together
and talk about it.
And I'm here with my amazing co-host. Of course, you know it's your boy Trey, and if we did it my way, we do this every day. But everybody else, please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, you see, it's your boy Ash. Take it easy.
It's your girl Eb, back at it again.
Hey guys, it's Ashleigh here.
All right, cool. Now give me a quick rundown. How's your week or day? Whatever you want to speak on.
My week was good. In a place where God is testing my faith right now, but more on that to come. And I hosted like church for the first words. I hosted in church for the first time. For those of you who don't know what hosting is, it's like the person that comes up like either before worship, in between worship, or like at the end, who gives like the announcements and stuff like that. So I did that for the first time in big church today, because I do it for students like all the time. So it's my first time like being in the lobby hosting and being on stage hosting. But apparently I looked like a natural, so thank God for that, because I had to pray them nerves off. I was really nervous.
Blessings.
That's good that you were able to get through that.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Had you there supporting me always. My biggest fan.
Always.
Mm-hmm. So how's your day, Ash?
My day was cool. Yeah, it was chill. Got the word in. It was a great message. Was able to, I guess, be receptive to it, and yeah, it really moved me. I was moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's unbecoming of me.
What was the topic this
PJ
week?
really did give a good word.
Yeah.
But what was the topic this week?
It was thriving versus dying. And it was talking about the importance of physical elements on your faith journey with God. Like, basically take the things you need to do to take care of your body and why it's so important, and your body being a temple of God and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And Ashley?
Well, today, like, it just kind of hit me that I'm tired of being tired.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this has been a long time coming, because I've been, like, working towards a lot of goals. But now I'm tired, and I'm like, oh, I'm tired of being tired.
Sick and tired of being
Hey, Lord,
Sick and tired of
you
being tired.
know.
Sorry.
And Ashley sang in church today, y'all. She did that.
Oh, yeah, I did sing at church today. See, I'm tired, so I didn't even remember. But, like, yeah, I hadn't sang in 2 months, and
it was nice.
It was nice to come back.
seeing you up there and hearing you. I love hearing
Thanks.
Ashley sing, y'all. She has a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, now back to what you were saying, Ashley, about being tired.
Yes.
Of course, we all need our rest. The Lord worked for 6 days and rested on the seventh.
He sure did.
So at this point, resting should be ingrained in all of us. And, fourth wall break, this is a Sunday. And this is the day that most people, take to have time to themselves after going through a whole work week. And then on Saturday, whether you want to clean your apartment or your house and basically getting all of your errands out the way. But, you should have that one day to yourself, whether it's with your family or not, where you should be able to decompress and not really worried about everything that happened throughout the week and just have it to yourself.
I cannot relate to that.
You cannot relate? See?
No.
Exactly.
And that's on transparency.
And that's problematic, because we should all be able to rest.
That's on. I'm tired. You've been sitting there right now, like, y'all don't even know this, but I tried to avoid recording this episode today because I really just wanted to lay in my bed and do nothing, because I mentioned this before, I think a couple episodes ago, but I don't really have a day to just like do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I clock out of my 9 to 5, there is editing content for my hair page, editing more of the conversation content, making sure videos are uploaded on time, doing somebody hair. It's just always something constantly being worked on. I don't have a day where I do nothing except like binge watch or read a book, or because I love reading. And I love spending like quality time with Ashton. And yeah, we get in, like, we could squeeze some time in like after I get off work or whatever, but it's like it's this constant just going. And it gets tiring not being able to actually rest. And rest isn't just sleep. I also do need more sleep. but it's not just sleep. So it's really hard when there's so many moving parts and different things that I'm a part of. So it's hard to learn like when to just cut that off and
Take a
just
step back.
rest.
Yeah, you see, exactly. And a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, we spoke about doing our best. And one important part of doing our best is making sure that we're setting ourselves up to be able to output the best. And we can't do that if we're not giving ourselves time to rest so that we can refresh our mind, we can refresh our bodies, and we can refresh our hearts. Because resting is a part of making sure you're going to be disciplined and committed to what it is that you want to do. And so, personally speaking, I think it is good to rest, which is why I even recently changed my schedule at work just so I could have time to myself in the morning so that I could focus not only on my future, but also on, giving myself time to be as good as I can be.
Aren't you back in school too though?
Not yet. January, I'm going to be back in school.
For your master's.
Mhm.
Our boy is
Nice,
smart, y'all.
nice.
And that's on
Trying to be.
mastered it, okay?
So hopefully January I should be back in school getting my master's done. And realistically, if I want to be real with myself, working a full-time job is not going to give me the time to prepare, to study, even to get myself back in a mindset to be doing school.
Right.
And so because of that, I needed to find time or rest away from my job so that I could focus more on myself.
Did you really just lean forward to do this?
Yeah. It's a habit.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's how you talk. That's your thing, yeah.
It's always something. So yeah.
That's so funny. What about y'all, the both Ashes?
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
no, you could go.
You sure? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, he's serious about it. Okay. Well, what I thought about when Trey was talking is just that God in Genesis, like he created he was creating like the world, and it took him 6 days to create the world. He rested on the seventh day, and I really saw that as a schedule almost. Because you know how like we have schedules in our lives, so that was almost like God's schedule in order to create the world, and he scheduled in rest too.
Mm-hmm.
And if God schedules in rest, then like why should we have our schedules without rest? Because if it was that important for God to have that in his schedule, like why should we not have rest in our schedule? And like when it says like he rested on the seventh day, it wasn't just that he was like taking a break, it was also that he was enjoying his creation. I think like in a few episodes back, it was like on the Girl Talk, I think it was Reuni that had said that.
Yeah,
And
he
she
took
was
a day
like-
to enjoy.
He
what
took a day
made.
to enjoy like his creation. And
Yeah.
the thing about that is that if we're always just trying to work on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, we're never taking that time to enjoy what we have like worked on.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not fun. It's not fun that you work on something and then you're just on to the next thing. Like personally, I've been wanting to, it's a small thing, but I've been wanting to organize like my room like for the longest time because I love organization. I wanted to reorganize it, and I've been putting it off. So I finally like organized it, and then I went on a trip. To Jamaica. So right before my trip, I organized the room, left, and then I came back and I was like, wow, my room is like finally organized, and I enjoyed it. And I got to rest like after my trip.
I know that was so lit. That was probably so nice. I'm thinking about it. Like when you clean up everything and everything's in its place and you're finally done, and then you like shower and then you just go like sit down.
Yeah.
Like that rest is different.
It's different.
Oh yeah.
That rest is different.
Because you're seeing the fruit of your work, your
Facts.
labor. Yeah.
And just piggybacking what Ashleigh said about us trying to follow the Bible and what God is trying to tell us to do in our lives. And rest is important, just as important as your spiritual walk, as you taking your like your physical state serious, as well as your spiritual, because like you could be praying for 24 hours a day, but if you don't get no sleep, you'll die like 2 weeks later, and God would be like,
tired to serve God.
yeah,
Even
he would be like, you did not take care of my temple, and that's the sad thing
you'd be
about
shook.
it.
Like, God,
Yeah.
I talk to you all that time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like rest is very essential, and sometimes, actually a lot of times, like we try to separate the different aspects in our lives, where it's the mental state of it, where it's the spiritual state of it, where it's the physical state of it. Like they are all just as important, because if you take one away, there's gonna be a lack in the other areas.
True.
And we have to join them together. Like you would want to get your spiritual state together, because you'll be more at ease mentally. You want to get your mental state together, because you'll be more at ease spiritually and physically. You want to get your physical state together, because mentally your body, your brain and everything would just break down if your body's breaking down. And then what more energy would you have to grow yourself spiritually? How would you be able to do it? So I feel like we have to keep the importance level for all of the different aspects. We have to keep them just like a balanced being, because if you tipping over for one or the other, then something's gonna happen that's not supposed to be going on
Right.
in your life. And once you take that time, like even with like, let's say like fasting for an example, you taking a rest from certain foods that may be good for you but also bad for you, and that rest from those foods, it ends up cleansing our bodies. Us taking a step back, taking a rest, we think, oh, we're losing on getting things done, but our
Yeah.
body actually doing what it's supposed to do.
Your body,
Yeah.
the thing
It's-
is, your body will make you do it.
Yeah,
Our bodies were made to rest.
The
for you.
rest actually tells your body, oh, hey, it's my time to shine. I actually get to do what I'm supposed to do.
That's why
I get
your
to
eyes
digest.
burning and-
I get to digest the nutrients and the food that you've been consuming all your life. I get to replenish your cells that's been breaking down all week.
And it's like I said. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No,
cut
you're
you,
good.
But you made a very good point. Like your physical, your mental, and your spiritual, they all inhabit the same domain, which is this right here. And one thing that's universal is rest. Like rest is the one thing I think that you could really do that benefits all of your being.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Exactly.
That is so true.
So good point on that one, Ash. Let me pick that up.
What just hit me though is in the Old Testament, when God is laying down like his laws and his requirements for the Israelites, I just realized that like resting and the Sabbath was a requirement.
It was very important.
Like
Cute.
I just like that just hit me, like in all the laws and everything that God was laying down for them, there were festivals and Sabbath days and all these sorts of things that was like, and on this day do nothing.
No one is to work. No one is to do anything. I just realized that, like, it's not like God asking you. It is literally a requirement. The same thing where it's like, not the same thing, but like the Bible tells us to wait on the Lord, and He will like renew your strength. And a lot of times the reason why we having a struggle in our relationship with God is because we're not going to Him to be renewed. We're not renewing ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally. We're not waiting on Him. We're taking things into our own hands, and we're just working.
Yeah.
Sometimes the waiting portion that God needs from you is to be still and know that He is God.
Yup.
And You know?
Oh no,
So,
I was just gonna say, yeah. Sometimes that's literally all you need. Be still and know that He is working it out, because you cannot do everything. Like Trey mentioned, like an episode or so ago, you cannot always have your hand in everything.
mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, God needs us to rest and wait upon Him so He can move. But sometimes we just be so in the way, like we don't even give Him a chance to step in and allow us to rest, because the Bible says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest."
And you know what's crazy? Like, we're just thinking about it. Like, I wouldn't say on a like, we're not thinking too minuscule, but when God took that day of rest, because He was doing, if you think about it, God was doing everything, as in anything you can think of, forming the universe, the galaxy, the world, the planets. So it's not just sleep that we're talking about. You can take rest from, I guess, being around people. You could take rest from being in your phone. You could take rest from, I guess, the kids. Like all of this.
Someone Google what rest means.
Yeah, like all of this.
I got you.
All of this can be included. Like it may not just be sleep.
Yeah, rest
You may need to
isn't
take
just sleep.
you may need to take a rest from a type of food and all. Like, dramatic pause.
Oh yeah, I
No.
was gonna Google
I asked someone to Google rest, because like rest is not just about sleep, but at the same time, a lot of us don't get rest too because we're not trusting God with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it say?
So the number one definition says cease work or movement in order to relax, refresh oneself, or recover strength.
Ooh, recover strength.
He will renew your strength.
Cease work or movement.
So
Whatever you think you're doing,
wait,
that can be considered work.
Wait on
Maybe
the
you may need to
Lord.
take a rest from
Let me
it.
tell you something. They that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength.
Wow, look at that.
They shall. What are we looking at?
Nah, the song that you just.
Yeah. They shall mount up on wings.
And like, because today, like, social media and like technology is so high, and certain businesses and certain hobbies that we just hop into, sometimes we think like, oh, we can't take a step back, because if we do, then everything will fall apart,
Right.
or it
That's a
won't
good
it
point.
won't be successful. You know, it'll all just disappear or whatever.
But if
And-
God's hand on it, it's always going to be success.
Exactly,
If God's
exactly.
hand is on it,
Exactly.
and if you see you consistently getting overwhelmed because you have to, maybe you're tiring yourself out, and God is allowing that to show you, hi, you need to hire somebody else.
Can't grind every
You
day.
need to dictate this work. That's why now, ever since we talked about like me being like so controlling over everything, I
Yeah.
literally just been starting to let Trey edit, because I be tired.
Yep.
And he gets the experience and I get to relax. It ain't like this teamwork. He edits and I go through and rewatch and save it, and I do the uploading. Like it's just not this isn't
Okay.
a one woman show.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if you see you can't get rest because you have to do, because if you're not doing, no one else can do, then it sounds like there needs to be some dispersing of, all the
Delegation.
obligations.
Yeah,
Something.
divide and
Something.
conquer.
It's so
Some
crazy.
divide and conquer,
It's so
yeah.
crazy how like us depending on God is almost reflected in our lives, like with other people.
Oh wow, that's so true.
Because like as you were talking, like I was just thinking that, I've also had that whole control issue where I don't want to wait on God for things. Like I'd rather just have things done like when I'm focused on it, and not let go of it and wait for God to do it. Be like, oh, God's got it.
Mm-hmm.
I rather in that moment, if I like, for example, if I'm deciding to do something right this minute, we're gonna get it done and then we move on. But what I found with God is that like with certain issues, like you can't do that. You have to just surrender it to Him and then let Him work on it, which is really hard. And that's mirrored like in our lives with other people too. Like there's gonna be situations where you have to be like, here, please work on this for me, and then you have to go about your business. you know, and trust that the person's gonna work on it. And with God, like, trust that God's gonna work on it too. And like I felt like I was like, at me next time, like when you said when you were talking about maybe God keeps having you go through like that certain situation, like almost like you're hitting a wall every time you're trying to take something into your own hands.
He'd be like, one day they're gonna see there's a door right next to this wall that they keep hitting, that I keep trying to get them to go through. Or maybe that there's a hallway right next to it, but they just keep seeing like, this wall.
Yeah, but the key, and it's funny, the key to that door is just giving it to him, waiting on him. That's the key, letting him help you.
But we don't wait because we don't trust.
Right.
And we don't trust because we don't know him.
And then when we don't trust him, and then we don't give it to him, then we don't rest, and we get tired.
And then we just worrying. Just add as many worries on that
I've been through it.
as you want.
Like, one thing your body is gonna do is tell you when you need rest, because I'm sure everybody has experienced that we call it when you diving for conch. Back home in the Bahamas,
like you ever see someone that's like
a dipping moment where you at work or you at a function, you at like a meeting or something, and you just fighting,
just tilted,
like,
and you just
like, and your body and your mind going head to head, just throwing blows, trying to
but
keep
your
yourself
mind and
up.
your body is just like
you at work and you just dipping, and 5 minutes go by and you're trying to figure out like where were you during those 5 minutes.
Y'all ever accidentally fall asleep and accidentally snore? One time, like, accidentally snored and I woke right up. I was like, oh my god. Or like I was asleep and like there was like there's some random like drool on the desk.
Oh no.
And you gotta wake up and
like sleep.
That's
I mean, not
that's
just sleep, but I mean like
time
rest.
To fall asleep.
Like rest is a very, very serious thing. Like
that's how people get sick.
Like I know there's a lot of people who like are morning risers. They wake up early in the morning at 4, 5, 6 o'clock or whatever. And you know by experience, like if you don't get enough sleep the morning, I mean the night before, then midday, you know, is that certain point inside the day where your body just say, okay, sleep time.
That used to happen to me. I'd be sitting at my desk and like it's so hard to keep my eyes open.
That feeling. Oh wow.
My indication of tiredness is like my eyes would burn, and my eyes would burn, and then I'd be like, okay, let me just take a second to rest, and before I know it, I'd be out, like not just like resting my eyes, like I am deep sleeping. Like your body will shut down on you if you don't take heed.
For personal experience, like let's say if it gets, we usually go to the gym in the morning, and when it gets too late the night before and I'm trying to calculate, okay, what's the amount of hours that we're going to be able to sleep tonight, and if it's not seeming reasonable, then we got to hit the gym in the afternoon.
We always know.
If we go to the gym in the morning and then to work and then throughout our day, like that is gonna take a toll.
And we're not big coffee drinkers either. So for anybody that would say drink coffee,
my energy is water and orange. Water and orange.
No, but
and it that has its limits.
I like coffee though, but yeah, you know, gotta be careful.
But it's for real, because like some people get it's like a random headache in the middle of the day. And the first thing you think, bam, let me pop a pill, bro, because this headache is not supposed to be here.
The whole time you tired.
Tired.
You haven't been resting. You probably ain't even eat either. But yeah, rest. You ain't eat. You ain't get no sleep, and then you wonder why you feel like your body been bulldozed. You're not taking
care. Yes, Ashleigh, if you get that headache, please, bro, go get some sleep that night. You're not taking care of, like me and Ashton so in tune. When we see it, if we see it's like 10:30 and there's no chance of us getting to bed, if we're not already brushing our teeth or laying down before 10:30, we already know we're not going to the gym the next morning. Like we already know, because as much as we want to work out, we also want to prioritize that rest. Now, you have some nights where we just be wilding and we just be so into a movie or a show when we get to actually watch TV that we just don't even have the time. But, like, yeah, I don't know.
Another story time for an example of needing rest. It was a few years ago when we were inside a car going home, right? and we were going up a hill, and my friend here fell asleep on the wheel, and I had to wake him up. And we were so tired. Like, we had a long day. He probably had a long week. But it just shows, like, the seriousness of needing
I dozed
rest.
behind the wheel
Like,
one time, and I was so scared. I blinked, and I didn't realize, like,
the
where I
young
was.
man had all of our lives in his hands.
And if you ever get around Trey at a late hour, this man you'll talk to him, and in 2 seconds he is asleep, not light sleep,
And
deep sleep.
he was in another universe, living another life, because his eyes were closed. So it's very important. And this has happened. Like, we can laugh right now, but the situation is very serious, because like, it's happened to a lot of people where they didn't wake up. They didn't wake up.
That's how I got in my first.
Okay, she's still laughing.
That's how I got in my first real accident.
I want to take
fell
a
asleep.
second to just be a little sensitive towards people who like have it harder to find the time to rest.
Yeah,
like towards new parents, especially like new parents, people with like bigger responsibilities and stuff like that. But somehow my heart is like right now really on to like the new parents who are trying to adjust. Not even new parents in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a parent, it's not just about you, it's about you and your kids. So trying to find that balance of work, life, children, marriage, all kinds of things. I know it's not easy. But I really encourage you to tap into community, tap into something, and pray.
And take full advantage of naps. I know we discredit naps. No, for real, like a 10 to 15 power nap throughout the day can do you wonders.
I can need a whole hour. But
I'm just saying, like, power naps.
But what I'm trying to say is, my heart goes out to you, and I definitely do pray that you are able to find a way to prioritize rest yourself, because I know it could be hard to pour into a household when you literally don't have no energy. And me and Ashleigh are married. We don't have any kids, and our brother live with us, and that's it. So when I cook, essentially, I don't have to cook for like a whole household per se, but I do cook for everybody, and even that could be exhausting. So I can't imagine like cooking for you and your husband and then having to make food for the kids, and like I literally can't imagine how hard it is to find time for yourself and to find time for rest. But I really encourage you to take some time with God when you can, pray about it and ask him to show you how you can prioritize that rest. Whether it be dropping the kids off at grandmama's house to have a couple of days, or investing in a daycare, even if you're a stay-at-home mom. That way you're able to have some time away from the kids. Whether it be dad have to step up a little bit more and help you out while you go out and run some errands, or however rest could look for you. I just encourage you to look for that because that really was on my heart. Because all of us honestly could talk about rest all day, because we're all either students or we work and we don't have any kids and no like major responsibilities, and we be tired. So
that's
I
true.
can't imagine with bigger responsibilities how like hard it is to find that time to rest. So
it's very hard, taking care of another life. My responsibility is her.
And my responsibility is you.
Okay.
I don't take care of you?
She does most of the cooking though, doesn't she?
Like I'd say would you agree that it's 80-20 or 70-30?
On whose side?
I would say 60-40.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did make a good point. Especially like some people who may be in like a single parent household.
Yeah.
If you're running the whole show, that's facts. Like, hearts out to you. Mm-hmm. I can't even give real advice on that because I'm not at that point in my life, like at all at this point.
That's why I had to take a minute to because all us young and we don't got nothing going on, buddy.
The most I can think to say is communicate with those who are around you, because you could be under a lot of pressure, but if you keep that to yourself, you're going to just stay drowning. You really communicate with your family. If you have your spouse in the household with you, let the spouse know that you're feeling overwhelmed and ask them specifically, like, look, can you do this for me, please, to help? Can you do this for me, please, to help? Because if you just go around saying, oh, I'm so overwhelmed,
I gotta do everything myself. People gonna hear you and they're not gonna help you, and it won't even be intentional.
Or they might like, you know, ask like, oh, well, you know, how can I help?
And then you gonna be like, don't worry, I got it. No.
But you
tell them how they can help.
Yeah, open up, communicate, reach out to your family. Like if you're good with your family and you trust them because you grew up with them, reach out to them. I mean, it might sound weird, but summer break, send your kids overseas to be with their other family. Go experience something new. Like you might worry about them because they're your kids, but if they're with family you trust, just take some time to yourself.
Sidebar, don't send your kids nowhere if you ain't financing it, please. Stop sending your kids to their relatives with no money and letting them eat their relatives out of the house and home and use all their electricity.
And you need to send no money. That's how I grew up. I grew up where in the summer, bro, you just go to somebody's house.
I feel you.
Your mom sent you to somebody's house.
I grew up the same way. You at somebody else. Where is
your spend your summer?
Don't let it be your grandmama house because it's you and all your cousins in one house.
But that was fun though.
It was.
That used to be so fun.
Great childhood, playing hide and seek outside and whatnot. You know.
Good times.
In the night, it has to be nighttime if you're gonna play hide and seek outside. Because if it's daytime, then what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta wear black. Take that information and do with that whatever. Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, but all in all, bro, I guess the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is use your resources.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like try to be intentional. You know, like with where there's a will, there's a way.
Amen.
Like be intentional. There's something that you can find. Use little pockets of moments. You know, for single parents, for what's it called? Like when they're both parents in the household?
A neutral family?
Co-parenting.
When there's co-parenting, if you have multiple jobs,
nuclear.
If you know, whatever circumstance that you have going on, like just be intentional and try to find that rest because it is very important.
Yeah.
And it's your fuel to keep going. So it's like if you're tired and you feel like I can't keep going, like that's your indication that you need that rest. So you have to find it. It's very important. A lot of people think it's not important. Like, oh, I just have to keep going. No, it's very important. That's your fuel to keep going. So
yep. And don't be like me. Don't be afraid to use your PTO if you have it at your job.
Oh, that's
PTO, UTO. If I rarely want to take days off from work. Like it's rare. But if I wake up on a Saturday and I'm like, babe, I really don't feel like working, like I'm not feeling it, and we're okay financially, Ashton would be like, it's fine, take the day off. He knows when I'm tired, and he's been paying more attention to that too. So he's been very helpful in terms of like seeing when I'm tired and like prioritizing me in a way that to help me rest. And I really appreciate that. I love you.
Yeah, man. Rest.
You ain't even touched my hand. Try it again. You hit me.
Rest is very important. And the words of the day: resourcefully establish sufficient time.
Resourcefully established.
This man spelled out rest with words. You know, I'll give it to you.
Resourcefully
establish sufficient time.
I mean, I guess. Guys, I apologize if the camera may or may not have zoomed in or out during this episode. And I say that because my watch is not showing me what the camera looked like. So I'm going to be real with y'all. Whatever the camera looked like, if it zoomed in or out, I guess that's what we just going to have to get. Because there's nothing I could do at this point. My camera's black and I'm not getting up.
See, and in this, we are surrendering control to God.
Yeah.
God only knows what happened on the other side of this camera.
He sure does. I was thinking about it like that, too.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I was, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
But,
You're learning. Oh, Ebony is growing, y'all.
Nah, for real. Because I would have been like, no, somebody got to get up and check.
Hey, this video would have been paused right now.
Yeah,
and somebody would have went to check
I'm
the
not
camera.
saying I'm being like it is what it is ish, but I'm trying to understand that if it's meant to happen, it will, but not necessarily because there's some work you still have to do in that scenario. But dog, if it's zooming in, it sometimes you just gotta realize you can't fix everything. Like
Period.
You can't do. Sometimes you just can't do it, bro. Sometimes it just ain't. It just ain't. And I know I ain't completing none of my sentences just now, but y'all get the point.
Period.
Please, guys, prioritize resting. We were supposed to record 2 episodes a day. I don't even know if we're gonna do that, because I am sure we're all tired. Well, at least I know I'm tired. And I still gotta go cook dinner. Love that for me. So, yeah, we just want to prioritize intentional rest, not rest and still on your phone working, not rest and still on your laptop working. Rest as in, my laptop is closed, don't ask me nothing about anything if it's not a leisure activity. Do not ask me what time the podcast getting uploaded if I'm resting. No, we could talk about that tomorrow, or you should have asked me yesterday, type of thing. Like, be intentional about your rest, and when you're resting, actually rest. Don't let people call you, email you, text you about no work. No. Ask me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Not today.
When was the last time you've ever sat down with your own thoughts? Because every day, like you said, we're always getting stimulated by everything that's going on around us. There's all this social media. There's all these people. A lot of stuff is being poured into your brain.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But when was the last time you've ever stopped to, manifest your own thoughts and then just see where they go? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you'd have to want to sit down in silence to do that. Or not even, just, sitting down with God and, yeah.
I feel like we'd hear God more if we did that too.
More quiet time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Just have time that's uninfluenced by anything.
That's so true. That's so good. That's good. I should practice that some this week. I guess people would call it meditating, but not really. Just sitting down in the presence of God, or sitting down with your journal and just writing out what you hear. And
And like my Bahamian piece be saying, bro, take time.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Take it easy.
We taught you so well.
Thanks. Yeah, bye.
Wow. Wow. He got so lit, he plugged everybody's headphones out at that point because, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Oh my God.
Okay, we good.
We back. We back in business, baby.
That was a sign to say
it never
stop
happened.
talking.
What?
I think that was a sign to say stop talking.
So yeah, do we have any final words?
I said my final words.
Yeah. All right. All final thoughts have been said. Y'all want me to close out on this one?
I could do it.
All right. You got it.
Thanks so much for listening, for watching, for tuning in to More Conversation, where we do life together and talk about it. If you guys prefer to listen instead of watch, you can click the link down below in the description for our YouTube peeps. Our Instagram links are down there. If you need to reach out, you can just shoot us an email on in our IG, or you could DM us personally on More the Conversations page. Click the notification bell to be notified anytime we post. But until next time, y'all already know the vibes. MTC on 3, 1, 2, 3.
MTC.
Bye, guys.